Okay. Let's see. All right, everybody. It's Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Just for reference here, just in the future reference. Just thought I'd come on here. It's Tuesday after our last technically general toy show of the year in Ocala, and I just thought I'd share some updates with you guys. Um, and so I'll give a minute here to get everybody on here. I'm going to go ahead and let's see, download a couple of things or look a couple of things up, and we'll wait for a couple of people to come on, and then get moving here. All right. I do this every time. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. It's kind of an off week. I know we're not doing a show, any in the immediate future. But that does not mean that we are not busy over here at Florida Toy Shows. I need to do a lot of catch up on things. You'll see I got over here, I got boxes. I got, boxes behind me, parts, car parts, stuff. I have multiple vehicles in the shop right now, all kinds of stuff. But we are still working on our shows. Our next show is going to be this new concept that I'm calling the Super Santa's Gift Show, Santa's Super Gift Show. It's going to be on the 20th and 21st in RP funding. I'm gonna come back to this in a minute, but that is our technically next show, and then I'll come back. And we do have guests. All right. Hey, Mike. Maybe I'll see you at Free Play this weekend. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Free Play here in just a minute. Okay. So this last weekend, we did something different. We had our Ocala Collector Fest. That was actually the second one that we did this year. It was kind of like an added on show. What I was trying to do was we're not doing Coco this weekend. That was because there's another show scheduled at the I was going to be at Free Play all weekend, and then the venue wasn't available, and then also there was just other stuff going on, and then we didn't do the Daytona show in October. So I thought, hey, let's I had this idea to add Ocala when they said that the date was available. Now, what I didn't know at the time was I had already previously set up like a thing with my wife to go somewhere because we didn't have shows scheduled. And so our friend Jeff Mikado, I am kind of throwing him under the bus, but no, everything went pretty well. And we have a team now of people that help us run the show. So it's most of the time it's me and my wife running the show, and then and my friend Sean is helping us do the setup and takedown of all the signage now that we have. I mean, we've really come a long way. This is our 6th year doing the shows. We started out, I know I've said this many times, but for me, it's kind of a big deal just because I think about all the things that we've gone to. So we started out in a little building, 6 years ago. We were in Tampa, like a smaller hotel event, and then after COVID happened, things just kind of went a little crazy. But now we're kind of more refined. So, I spent a lot this year on signage, and I still got some more signage to get and some other things, but we're gonna still up the game from here. All right, so So there's a lot of planning going on right now. There's a lot of things that I'm working on for this new year. And one of the things that I'm going to do in the future on these videos, because I want to up my viewer count. So I'm not sure when I'm going to put this in, but I'll be promoting it when I get doing that. I think I'm going to do a giveaway of some kind um, here on the video. Okay, so but you can only win it if you're watching. So we're gonna have like I haven't figured out how I'm gonna do it yet, but because I just came up with the idea. But what I'm gonna do is we're gonna have like a live drawing for the people that are watching or whatever. I have to figure out how I'm gonna do this, but I think maybe we're gonna have maybe we'll do like a trivia or something, and then that way the people on here can answer, and then the first person to answer correctly on the comments over here will give away that item. Yeah. No, sorry. First dibs on the Corvette. That's great. Man, I will tell you, if you guys look back at the videos, you'll know that I've been working on getting a Gallardo for the last year. I started talking about that last Coco show. Looked into it in the spring, and then really tried hard to be ready to do this in the fall. And it's just a pain in the butt. Like I said last week, it's a major ordeal, and it's just I'm not. I mean, anyway, I'm kind of moving on from that because I'm really happy with this car. If you guys see these, you see Corvettes drive around. My friend has a C5. I'm just not going to go crazy here, Mike, on the Corvette here, but I'm pretty happy with it. So you see them on the road, you see online videos kind of like, oh, there's going to be a crash, in the vet market and all this stuff. This car is really, me and my wife had a 74. We when we got married, I rented a C5 convertible and all of that. Okay. Sorry, Rusty, you didn't win this time, but if you come again and you answer some great question that I'm going to have, I think that's how I'm going to come up with a winner. All right. So, anyway, I just feel like this, with this car, GM and the overall Corvette is just beyond what I expected. I really, I've been driving, basically foreign car for the last couple of years. And there was always a lot of plastic in there, and it just anyway, it just wasn't, it was always considered not really the best car, fastest car, but interior wise and all that. This is just a really nice vehicle, and I'll have it at a show in the future that people can check it out or whatever. I might be doing some mods or whatever to make it more of a more promo thing. I haven't quite figured it out, but yeah, I think choice of the Corvette. Yeah, well, for sure on the repair, right? We're on the repair bills and maintenance. That is 100%. Just nobody I know has had Lamborghini. I'm kind of a Lamborghini fan, so I thought, hey, you know what? Let's see if I can do something. But it just became just a giant pain. So and I'll move on here in just a minute. But basically, when you go to get an exotic car, you basically have to, when you go to get a new car, okay, like this happened just a week ago. So I've had the car a week right now. Basically, I was picking it up somewhere around this time last week. That's the Corvette. And I went there at like 4 or 5 o'clock. Was really asking about, a color. I had wanted a blue seat. One of the 2026 things they had come up with this new blue interior, this new interior. and I had gotten intrigued by that. So I was looking for one with a blue seat with a blue exterior and all that, but they didn't have one for like 800 miles. So I'm like, how do I get this car here? How do I get that color setup, you know? And so I went over to the dealer and I talked to this guy I'd talked to before, and I ended up, you know, test driving a car that was 3 years old with 3,000 miles on it. And a new one was only like another 8,000, and it had 2 more years of warranty. So I just was like, and it was green, and then the green color, you know, once it was in the sun, it changes color. Anyway, yeah, Lisa, move on. Okay. He's still talking about, because I've been talking about a car for 2 months. Anyway. Oh, yes. Corvette Summer is actually a pretty cool movie, actually. So, you know, one thing about Corvette Summer, going back to that, is the little Bo Peep in Toy Story is actually the girl in Corvette Summer. All right. So we'll move on, but just to say that it's better. You know, buying a car at a dealer, Chevy dealer, is a lot easier than buying an exotic car. It's a pain in the butt. All right. Yeah, it's a toy car. Yeah. Okay. All right. we'll move on here to the shows. All right. So this last weekend in Ocala, I believe that that everybody seemed pretty happy. Sean Wolf, my helper Sean Wolf, he ran the he opened the show for us, and then we had our I need to be bigger here. We had our our kids, my son-in-law and daughter run the front. They run the front in Tampa, and everything, I assume, went smooth. I was not able to get there until, because I had a pre-scheduled trip that, you know, anyway, long story short, I didn't get there until like 3:30, and but it you know, everything appeared to go great and everything. Now, one of the reasons why I agreed to do this, where I couldn't be there, I thought I would be there like 9:30, 10, but is I want to be able to have a team together that can run the event, just in case, you know, I'm happen to, you know, Lord willing, I'm sick, my wife is sick, or somebody else is sick. I realize that vendors have to cancel, but, you know, I want to have a backup plan. And so this was kind of a test of that backup plan, of being able to put, if I needed to, put it into somebody else's hands, if I want to do a show somewhere else myself, or if I want to do something, you know, there's just a lot of advantages of this, if assuming that it works, and it definitely worked. So Sean did an amazing job getting there, making sure all the tables were there, and then we had a good show, you know. And then I do believe that we had more people there than we would have had at Coco this weekend that we normally would. It is November, so normally the shows, you know, in November, just that they're lighter in attendance, and I don't really think it matters what you do. Now, you know, there are other shows where they're once a year or whatever, and they're in November, and maybe they do great. But with our shows, and I think our customers, the guests that come to our shows, they're buying for themselves. And I think once you start, you know, the further closer to Christmas you go, it's more of a gift mode. Okay, so people are looking for gifts. They're not necessarily, they can't really buy for themselves. I know in the past, my wife has said, don't buy anything because I got to have ideas to buy you stuff or whatever for Christmas in general. And then people have kids that they're going to buy for it, all this stuff. There's a lot of reasons why they can't come to a toy show or to buy stuff for themselves. So that is why I think, you know, the shows are different. And that brings me to the Santa Super Gift Show. So this is going to be a different concept. Yes, there's going to be toys there. Yes, I'm going to approve toy vendors, but when you're thinking of what to bring, it's going to be stuff people are going to be looking for last minute gifts or hard to find items. Stuff they can't find at maybe the store, like Lego sets or whatever. And then they're going to be looking for gifts, other things. So we're not going to have just toys. Okay, it's not going to be just toys. There's going to be some handmade stuff, and there's going to be some, I'm going to call it women's gifts stuff, like there's some clothing or jewelry or something. I'm going to bring that into this show. And in addition to that, we're going to have these guests. Now, both of these guests have been um, confirmed. I just got to go back and finalize all of my travel and all that stuff. But basically, I've talked to both Eddie and Scott, and both of them will be there. Scott will only be there on Sunday. The plan is for him to only be there on Sunday. All right. And then Eddie should be there this all weekend. But it is a gift show. Okay. And I'm going to probably create a whole new page for this show. I think that's probably what I need to do. And that is our next event. It's a completely new show. It is at our Funding Center. We do have a decent amount of interest for it. We're over a month out, and we're going to have gift wrapping and a bunch of other things. I'm going to be 100% pretty much focused on this, other than I'm working on the schedule, which I'll talk a little bit about here in just a couple minutes, but for the 2026. But this will be our next show. And I do have space. All the spaces at this show, at the Santa's show, are gonna be 10 by 10. So everything that you so normally we would have an 8-foot table, and you'd have maybe 4 feet, 5 feet behind you. At this show, it's all 10 by 10s, because I want to have people be able to set up their stuff. And a lot of these, I don't want to have to be able to sell like 150 tables. What I'm trying to do is I don't know. There's a lot of vendors I don't know. Okay. So that I want to get. So I want to have it be gifty, I guess is the only thing I got. So, so this will become more. I wanted to do this the last 2 years, and this time I'm going for it. And I've got some vendors signed up, and I certainly need more. But keep in mind, it's a gift show, not our normal collectibles vintage toy show. People are going to be looking for stuff that they can wrap up and give as a gift. So, that includes like, Heather with her Pokemon cards are fine. And then Andy with his candy, that'll be great. I think, am I doing tables? Huh? I'm out of cherries. Yeah, we all are out of cherries. Lisa, come on. Okay. Tables at all. Yeah, there's gonna be tables. They're not 6 by 8 spaces. They're 10 by 10 spaces. So, so you just got to have stuff that people can wrap up or put in a stocking, or, something like that. My vision is that there's going to be like some last minute gift people, and then they're going to come for the celebrities, and then there'll be last minute gifts. That's kind of what I'm in my mind. That's what I'm thinking. And then we're going to try to have free or donation. I think we're shooting for a donation on the gift wrapping. Okay. And then the idea of those donations would go to some charity. We haven't figured out what that is yet, but that is my idea for that. But I definitely want to have gift wrapping area, so that people like myself who hate wrapping, I can go in there. I should be able to go into this show, buy something for my wife or whatever, and have it wrapped, and I don't have to do anything. That's the goal. And it's not just a guy show, but it's also the idea is that for people, hey, oh, you know what? I want to get something else. There's I'd like to add something, and I don't have that yet. Maybe they already have the big items, if you know
anybody who'd like to set up, like has like they work at a winery or they do um
Winery or in cottage
cottage businesses.
Yeah, yeah. So we're looking for a different
cakes,
kinds of things.
baskets.
Yeah, yeah. The designer purse stuff that they had that at that other show. Okay. Two. Okay, that's two more than the other gift show had. Okay, which was none. And by the way, and the other gift show I went to, the other Christmas shopping show I went to, holiday shopping, had no toys at all. There was none. Actually, I saw teddy bears, which I should I show my teddy bear thing? No, maybe I'll wait. Oh, you know what? That's a great idea there. That's a great idea. We just came up with the donation thing this evening and stuff. I just knew I wanted to have that's a good idea, Sharon. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so again, that is the Santa's Super Gift Show. That's a little over a month away. And so I'm going to be pushing that quite a bit here in the next few weeks. I'm probably going to create a separate page from Florida Toy Shows for the show right now, and then that way I can make posts that are specific to that, and people don't get it confused with because I would like to make this an annual deal, and people don't get it confused with our normal event. Yeah, and volunteers. Yeah, volunteers for gift wrapping and stuff like that.
For gift wrapping or just like being at the show, we that would be great.
All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk a little bit about what's coming up the 26th. And obviously I just talked a little bit about the Santa's gift show. And then if you know any, let me know. I don't know any train guys right now, but that's, if anybody knows anybody, okay, like if you guys know anybody that would be good for this show, as far as a vendor, okay, please share my information or share the show, because I do need to get vendors. And like I said, I want this to be like an annual thing that grows and is really cool. Tampa has their holiday gift deal, and it's a big deal. There were no toys at it, but that's okay, I guess. I got hit up from a roofing guy while I was there. I don't know. It's just disappointing when you.
Ed wants to know how much it will cost to get into the Super Santa.
Oh, it's $10. $10 all day, either day. Is the plan? I think.
Parking?
I think it was $12. Parking, I think maybe free. I think we're paying for parking. All right. Yeah, and we're looking for vendors that have cool stuff that are gift oriented, and then we want to still have toys and that for kids and adults, I guess. But we also want to have something. We want to make it so there's something people can buy. I mean, I think all of us on here used to go to the mall, okay, and there'd be those little carts in the mall, right? And you'd go to one cart and they'd have like sweatshirts, grandma's the best or whatever, and mugs and photo mugs and all of this stuff. Then you go to another thing and they got like a gift basket and all that. Anyway, this is what I'm trying to recreate here is a cool factor gift show. Might be a little late in the season, but this is the date that I could get the building and get in there to decorate, because I want to. That's another reason why I'm doing a 2-day show to start off, because I'm going to spend like probably 2 days decorating this show, and yeah. So yeah, well, we'll have another discussion on that. Okay, I'm going to move on and talk a little bit about the shows, and then. Okay, so after the new year, our first show is Coral Springs. that was an amazing show last July. We're going to do one day there. That is I've got I'm not sure how full it is. I haven't, we've been running pretty hard the last 2 months. Last couple months, I mean, we just did 4 shows in a row, and I think we had a break, 2-week break, and then we had 4 shows before that. So we've been running pretty hard since September. But basically, we're gonna be in Coral Springs in January. And then Fort Myers is also open. I'm going to be, for vendors that were at those shows and that aren't signed up, you're going to get a text probably from me in the next day or so about that. And then Daytona, right now, I think I'm just going to refund anybody that's already, I'm going to contact anybody that's signed up for that. I think there's like a handful of vendors that just, I kept there. So, because I think I'm going to just come up with a new date on that. I'm definitely doing a Daytona show. I don't like that there's a card show there. I might want to put something else on that date. So I don't want to be, holding anybody up. I'm probably doing a show on that date though, but I don't like that the card show is there on that day. So I think I'm gonna come up with something else. All right, but Space Coast in February. I really want to add a Orlando show in here. I'd like this to be an Orlando show, the 25th or the first of the month, which is February. So somewhere in here is going to be added, and then we may be bringing back. I'm waiting for the building to get back to me. Con Misfits, which would be the MegaCon weekend show. And then so these are the first few dates that we're gonna have. Okay. Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me. So I'm, like I said, if you are a vendor for that you've signed up for Daytona and I have your money or whatever, I'll either give you a refund or I'll push your table to another event, because I just don't. The parking is $15 at that, or I was gonna buy out some of the parking, but that complicates it when there's another event going on. And then I just, I don't like the parking. At the fairgrounds in Tampa, I can't do anything about that. I mean, we can get cheaper parking if people buy it in advance, and I think that those shows are big enough to justify having parking. But that's pretty much the only show that I'd like to try to. I do my best to steer away from parking costs unless I have to. Now, down in Fort Lauderdale, I would still like to go back to Broward but that would have to be a bigger show. I like the Coral Springs because there is no parking. It's a hotel. So, but anyway, so that's going to change. This date's going to change for Daytona, but I am going to come up with another Daytona area. Either we'll stick at Ocean Center and just do it a different date, or I'll come up with another venue. Space Coast is in, and then I got to finalize the Sarasota. And all these other ones are basically, contracted at this point. I think this date might be wrong. 25th, 26th. Let me just check that. Let me just check that again. Yeah, 25th, 26th. That is correct. Okay. All right, guys. So what we're doing a lot of stuff right now. I'm kind of taking a little break, but at the same time, we're working on, I got to get my, the Hummer worked on, and we're going to do some stuff with the trailer, and doing a bunch of, work getting set up so we can use it for the next season. And then, I want to talk a little bit about some of this is vendor oriented and really doesn't, if you're just a customer that comes to it might not pertain to you, but some of the things that I want to make changes just off the top of my head is we need to, that I want to do better in 2026 is is up. One major thing is upping our flyer game here. We have a lot of local stores that we're friendly with, and we have a lot of vendors, and I think we need to, and our shows are established now to where we kind of have the dates in advance, like you see on my flyer there. So I'm going to try to get flyers out to every vendor. As if you sign up early to the show, I'm going to try to get flyers mailed to you. And yeah, I'm going to try to get flyers mailed to you so that you can give them out or whatever. There's a lot of requests for flyers, and I just not I don't have the time to print them up and get them out to you and all that. And I want to utilize again this team that we're putting together now. It's an expanded team. I really want to try to get been trying to work. He may not that may or may not happen, but I've been trying to work with Jeff Mikado to join in on our shows and help out in some capacity there. He is a regular vendor, but I'm really trying to I want to really up our flyer thing. Again, I'm also gonna try to bring in raffles into the shows. One of the reasons why I haven't done the raffles is because when I did them before, I had to ship stuff out. So the raffles are gonna be, you have to be there. Some of the venues too they're not big enough. I've been risk adverse, of having too much space for this the amount of people that come, and then that creates a problem where there's not a lot of space if everyone just stays in the building, because they're waiting for a raffle. But I'm gonna do that because I feel like we need to do raffles, and I think that's another way, another promotional way that we're gonna do it. So I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna come up with some vendor stuff. We are gonna be making some changes to our super collector thing, which is gonna be more early access. So I want to give super collectors they're gonna have to register to be there, or they're gonna have to. When I say register, they're gonna have to be on a list or whatever. One of the benefits I want to give people earlier access. The VIP, these are people that super collector. They're people that come and buy, toys. They travel. You're a super follower, whatever. I'm gonna try to give benefits to them. So and then again, we're gonna do this giveaways on our live video here in some way. As one of the things I want to try to do. Obviously, I just got a little list here. I am going to try to get our app. I've been working on this. It's already like half done, but I gotta, get back to it when I have a break here. And we have an app that's going to promote not only our event, but other people's events. And I want to try to get that up and running, this next year. And we're going to have more of an expanded, outside Facebook, outside Instagram, outside, whatever marketing going in the future. So that's what I want to work on. I think our shows are pretty good. I mean, as far as the running of the show, and how we, our signage is pretty good. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think we are pretty organized as far as managing that. But I think we need to, we had a good amount of people at our shows this year. I want to try to get that, up, because, the attendance up overall. And then I also want to expand. So I'm going to be doing at least one Panhandle show this next year. That's like a goal of mine. So, and then we may do something outside of Florida, but I don't have that in any ideas right this minute. But just wanted to share with you those things. I'm going to get into it a little bit more. I'm going to do some vendor only webinars for people. Talk about, setting up your space, utilizing your space a little bit more, trends, I'm going to talk maybe about trends in the market. Like, you know, when we started out, Funko was really hot. Um, you know, and then now Pokemon cards are hot. I know everybody and their brothers doing a card show. I'm thinking maybe it would be nice if we could add some sports card vendors, because I get that get asked about that every show, and then maybe add a couple trains. But I don't know if we have trained customers, but I do, but I would like to, maybe people like Heather could, maybe if we interviewed Heather, we would, her and maybe the other vendors that are doing Pokemon, maybe we would know what cards are hot, what things are hot, whatever. But there is different trends going on, and let's share that with other. Now, when I say share with other vendors, what I mean is I want to be informative to customers, and also, I just want to help out vendors so that when they come and do the show, they're not disappointed, or they don't have their expectations aren't they don't have these ideas of grandeur when maybe they're new, they don't know what they don't know. And so try to expand our website and stuff like that to where people understand what they're getting into. You're going to come to set up, this is when you should set up, give yourself time, what you know um okay, all right, well, I don't know much about that, Josh, so you can tell me. Hey, I need my I got to come down there and get my Rocky thing. Oh, I need to find another Bruce Willis autograph there. Yeah, yeah. I hear you, but we're at 6 years now. And so I'm just giving you ideas of things that I would like to do. Not all of them are going to happen. Okay. I usually try to focus on one or two things. Like, for instance, I've been for probably 2 years, 2 or 3 years, at least 2 years, wanting to do a full blown con in South Florida, but I just haven't got the space, the date, whatever. Not going to get into that here because I just don't want to share all my info. But basically, I really just want to up the marketing this year, and up and get outside of Facebook. I want people to know about us. So that's really what I'm gonna thing. So let's see. So a little bit of, I'd like to see Mike at another show be outside of Ocala. That's what I'd like to see. Well, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll try to tell you where I think you're a great fit or where you're willing to travel. So, and then let's see. So a little bit of everything Pokemon. It was over 30%. Okay, all right. I think we didn't have. I think we had. I know we had. I know we had one person cancel. We had a couple people that were added. And as far as Pokemon vendors, I think there was like 3 or 4 at the show this weekend. So, oh yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, all right, guys. I think that's just about it. I'm gonna try to be on here a lot more. I'm gonna try to do way more videos. I'm gonna be doing, I'm just not. I don't know. I kind of have spread myself really thin here, and I'm now getting more focused on what I think, what I'm going to try to do myself, and then what I'm going to try to make, share with others in my team to try to make the show better, more refined, more promoted. Just more, but not necessarily more shows. Okay, I think I think we did about, well, my personal limit. I went to this, so I want something I will share with you guys. Let me do this. Let me see if it's here. Oh, you guys saw the bear thing that I think I got. Let me go ahead and try showing this here. I think you guys saw this, right? So this is Romero Brito. I was at an art show that I got invited to where they put you up in a weekend and all this stuff. And, like, because I had bought a couple pieces of art on my cruise this last January anyway. So I bought this thing, and this thing just said toys to me. You see the crown too, Toy King there. But it just said toys to me. So when I was looking at it, and this really doesn't do it justice, because this is like it comes out at you. It's not flat painting. Anyway, I thought it was cool, but that's me. But thank you, John, for saying that, and I appreciate everybody being part of the show and coming out. And I know that we're not necessarily the biggest attended show, biggest show, but we are the biggest. We are the biggest in the South as far as toy shows. Okay, there's nobody that sells more toys. I mean, I know. Okay, I'm trying to be as humble as I can, but I do believe that we sell more toys than anyone. We as a group, not Jeff, but we as a group, Florida Toy Shows, a group of shows. Okay, we sell the most toys and collectibles in our market in the South, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm looking to grow that and just basically make things better than they already are. And I think that we just need a better marketing, and we need more. I need to spend more time getting everybody hotel information, getting people flyers, and I want to focus on getting more vendors and letting somebody else work on more communication stuff with people. So I hope to do all of that, and I hope that you guys stick with me and in the new year, and I'll be inviting everybody maybe over, maybe try to have a Christmas party here at the arcade. And then what I want to just mention too, I believe I'll be I think I talked a little bit about this before. Let's see. I'm looking for it. And then I'll let you guys go. I'll be at Free Play this weekend a little bit. I had a tab saved for it, but I'm not. There's been a change as far as who's running it and all of that stuff. I'm not saying that's bad. It's just, I don't have the space that I thought I had, and that's more probably my fault for not registering. I just told the guy that was running it that I needed the space and whatever, and I was going to bring my games and stuff, and I probably still will bring my 720, but I'm not really sure what I'm doing quite yet. I just know that I'll probably be there. One thing that is going to be cool, there is a new pinball machine that actually hasn't been shown really to the public as far as gameplay. It's called the Walking Dead or whatever. Stern will have that there, and the pinball manufacturers will be there with their latest stuff, Harry Potter and everything. And then of course it's a great show that I usually miss. I usually maybe try to bring a game, but that's going on. And then there is a GI Joe show in December, so it's not our show. Usually try to do that, but just I don't have the flyer in front of me. Otherwise, I'd share it. But I may share it with the guys. For the guys here, want to be supportive of them. I just don't want to get people confused that it's not my show. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging with me for 25 shows this year. That's more than 2 a month average in the 11 months that we, we're working on this, and we're going to be back full steam come in January, and we'll have our Christmas show next. So that'll be 26 total shows. All right. Thanks a lot, man. And hopefully we'll see you this weekend at Free Play, and have a great weekend. Talk to you soon, buddy. All right. Talk to you soon, guys. Sorry. Bye now.